Good afternoon, my name's Chris Gill. I'm the Principal of Courses Conveyancing, and I'm going to briefly discuss the three major forms of title in South Australia. Torrens titles are really allotments under the Real Property Act, but we commonly refer to them as Torrens title. It's the traditional mums and dad's house where you have ownership of the land, you own the improvements on the land, and the property is effectively controlled by you as the owner, subject to any council regulations and encumbrances that may be registered on a certificate of title. The Torrens title system was created in South Australia by Sir Robert Torrens in 1858, hence the reason why the mums and dads houses are commonly referred to as a Torrens title. The improvements that you own are insured by you as the owner, and you need to make sure that adequate property insurance is taken out with any Torrens title that you purchase. The second type of title we'll consider is the Strata title. The original Strata Titles Act came in 1968 and replaced a fairly complex system of moiety and company titles. A strata title is a unit in a strata plan. There are articles of the Strata Corporation which determine the use of the unit and take into consideration such as the restriction on ownership of pets and use of common property. Other restrictions relate to noise and enjoyment of the common property by all unit owners. With a strata title, the buildings are owned by the Strata Corporation and therefore they are insured by the corporation. Each unit owner is required to take out contents and public liability for their space within the strata unit. It's important if you're buying a strata unit that you consider the minutes of any previous corporation meetings, as you will be bound by any of these meetings. The third type of title we'll consider is the community title. The Community Titles Act was enacted in 1996 and replaced the Strata Titles Act. The Community Titles Act was designed to give more flexibility to both lot owners and also to developers. Typically you will have for a community lot maybe 6 lots, common driveway. The lot owners pay for and own the improvements on the lot, and the common property and perhaps the restrictions on the use of a lot are determined by the Community Corporation bylaws. The bylaws are registered on a certificate of title and will be provided with sales documentation. A further tier with the community titles is a community strata. As opposed to a strata titles, it does come under the Community Titles Act and would be used in, for instance, high-rise apartments such as Air Apartments or the apartments down at Glenelg, where you have ownership of one lot residing above another. The big difference between a community title and a community strata is that with a community strata, the building is owned by the community corporation and is insured by the corporation rather than the individual lot owner. It's important to consider bylaws when buying a community title, as there may be some restrictions such as pets that you need to take into consideration. It is important when you purchase property that you seek some advice so that you fully understand the type of title that you're purchasing, and you can then consider whether this is the appropriate type of property for your intended use.